Hey guys, welcome to my video. My name is Tony, and in this video I'm going to show you how to replace a fuel filter in a 99 to 04 Grand Cherokee. So I'm about to pull into Lumpy's garage. It's an old buddy of mine, and he hates the word Lumpy. So when we're in there, we got to call him Steve. He'll come after me like a Sasquatch. That's all you're going to see is a claw like that coming after the camera because he's going to be mad. So let's go into Lumpy's garage, and we'll get this swapped out. Alright, so Steve and I are hanging out in the shop. So the first step to doing this is taking the gas cap off and depressurizing the tank, right Steve?
Yep.
Alright, so let's do that. So get that off and let's get this thing in the air. So you can do this driveway on your back if you jack the vehicle up, but for filming purposes, you're going to throw it up in the air. It'll make it a little bit easier on us too. And we'll be able to stand up under the truck. So if you decide to do this in your driveway, remember to put jack stands under the truck and be safe. You don't want to get hurt. So let's crawl under here and replace the fuel filter. So when you're replacing one of the fuel regulators on this truck, you want a Mopar one. The problem is that these fuel filters have an internal regulator in them, and if you get a really cheap one, they tend not to work right. And then we've had situations where the trucks wouldn't start, right, Steve?
Yep.
Yeah, we've had installed them from a few customers, and they had issues with them. So for this particular application, stick with a Mopar fuel filter, and it shouldn't cause you any trouble.
You have some squeeze tabs here for quick releases to release the fuel filters, and there's two 10mm bolts that hold this on. So we'll get some tools and we'll get going.
Okay. All right.
Alright, so we're going to unbolt the filter, the two 10mm bolts holding the bracket up to the frame, so that we can pull the filter down and have a little more access to the quick disconnects. We sprayed some penetrating oil on it to loosen everything up. Just going to take these down.
This isn't the easiest fuel filter to do. It's kind of a pain, but there's definitely ways to make it easier on yourself. Once you remove those two, fuel filter should drop down for you.
So we can pull the filter down, have a little more access. We have to be careful, these lines are brittle, they're plastic. And you have a squeeze tab here that we're going to squeeze this and disconnect this line right here.
Okay.
Goes the light.
Yeah, these can be a little bit stubborn, so you gotta squeeze those tabs and kind of pull at the same time, right, Steve?
Yep. Yeah. Okay, there's one.
Hey, there's one.
Now, we're going to try and squeeze the blue tab here on the other side.
Yep.
And we'll save the most difficult one for last. There's the blue tab there.
Okay.
And we have to squeeze both of those and then wiggle the filter, the line off.
Yeah, it's on that one right there, right?
It's this one here.
Yep.
Yeah. That one right there.
Okay.
So, let's work on that. It was for the blue clip that's up there, it's this one. We have to squeeze in these two shark fins right here to release it from the line. So we got some needle nose up there and we squeeze that. We're going to take that one off right now. We squeeze the two lines right here, squeeze them together.
Yep.
Now we can get this line off of the filter and the clip will stay on the filter. Okay, you're gonna have some fuel come out. That's why we got a bucket here. Now this is the most difficult one that's left, is this one here.
Okay.
And we have to push on this black piece into the steel line here, and that's the tool to do for the quick release. So we're gonna work that up.
So you can kind of use like a big screwdriver to push that in.
Yeah, that's what I'm using, and some small needle nose. We'll get that pushed up into the line. We'll see if we can draw it up into it and do the quick disconnect. You might have to use the needle nose to squeeze them in there, in like this, and force it into the line. So we pulled the filter, unbolted it to get access. We took pliers like this and we pushed up on the black piece here. It has to go into the metal clip here, the round part, almost flush. And then we get it to release. And now we can pull the filter down and out of place. It was not easy to get that black piece out.
The thing's kind of wedged in there pretty good.
So now we can take the new filter. This piece right here is going to come off of the line. So we're going to take a little pocket screwdriver and pop that off. As we get a new one on the new filter. This piece we can wedge up over here. This one off over here. So we can get it over the seat. Okay, get that off. Now we'll take the new filter. We're going to put the most difficult part on first.
Okay.
And I think what we're going to do is take a little bit of grease and just put a tiny dab of grease on this filter right here, just so it's going to slide in there a little easier.
Good.
So we put a little tiny bit of grease on the outside of the tube here where the line's going to go, so it'll lubricate the inside of that spring mechanism that's clamping down on this. And we're going to slide these up, and it's quick disconnect from here on in. It should go smooth. So we'll put the most difficult line on first.
Which is that line of the black insert. The thing was a pain.
Yeah. Here it snapped right in. Now we want to make sure the black sleeve is down towards the filter. So now we can't pull this off. And then this is just another quick disconnect that's going to slide in. That just clipped. And we have to line the sleeve up on this one with the line. Yep. And that one just clipped in. Now we're going to bolt it back up, and then we're going to start it and check for leaks.
Okay.
So I put a little grease on my bolts for the next time when we go to take this out. Recommend a little bit of grease so it never seizes, and we'll get this thing bolted back up.
Put the other one in. And you always want to catch your bolts by hand, and then grab like a wrench and firm them up.
Okay, that's all put back in place. Not sure if the little vent on the rear end broke while we were in here, but we're just gonna cut it back and re-put it on the fitting right here, and we'll be done.
So you're gonna wanna test the fuel filter and make sure it doesn't leak. Remember to put your gas cap back on, and then start up your Jeep and make sure that there aren't any leaks. All right, so now we're looking.
Okay, we've got no leaks. All our clips are back in. It's all bolted on tight. We can see the black clip over here is pushed back out, so the springs are going to be clamped on the tube. There's no leaks. We're pushing everything around, giving it the bounce test as if you're driving down the road. And we fixed Tony's vent tube on his rear end, and all is well. So that should do it. This is not an easy filter to change. Highly recommend a lot of penetrating oil, and the line over here was the worst one to change. And these plastic lines are brittle. If you're gonna do this in the winter months, you need to be really careful. This plastic is brittle, it will break. And that's all you really need to know.
That's pretty much it. So if you have any comments or questions, leave a comment. I'll reply back to you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.